From suffering to hope. In 2 Corinthians chapter 5, Paul shifts the focus from earthly suffering to eternal hope, reminding believers that their true home is not in this world, but in the presence of God. He calls the church to live with purpose, compelled by Christ's love, transformed as new creations, and entrusted with the ministry of reconciliation. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 1 through 5. Paul begins by contrasting our earthly bodies, temporary tents, with the eternal home God has prepared for us in heaven. Though we groan in our current state, longing for our heavenly dwelling, we are not left uncertain. God has given us His Spirit as a guarantee, a down payment of what's to come. This section reminds believers that our hope is anchored in eternity, not in the frailty of the present. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 6 through 10. Because of this eternal hope, Paul encourages boldness and courage whether we are in the body or away from it. Our aim is to please the Lord in all things, knowing that we will appear before the judgment seat of Christ. Every action matters. Each believer will receive what is due for their deeds, whether good or bad. This is a call to live with purpose and reverence. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 11 through 15. Paul speaks of the fear of the Lord and the compelling love of Christ as the driving forces behind his ministry. Christ died for all, so that those who live should no longer live for themselves, but for Him. This section highlights the shift from self-centered living to Christ-centered purpose, rooted in gratitude for His sacrifice. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 16 through 19. Paul declares that in Christ, we no longer view people through worldly lenses. If anyone is in Christ, they are a new creation. The old has gone. The new has come. God has reconciled us to Himself through Christ and entrusted us with the ministry of reconciliation. This is the heart of the gospel mission, restoring relationships between God and humanity. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 20 and 21. Paul closes by identifying believers as ambassadors for Christ, pleading with the world to be reconciled to God. He proclaims the gospel's core message. God made Him who knew no sin to be sin for us, so that in Him we might become the righteousness of God. This is the divine exchange, God's purity for our guilt, so we can stand righteous before God. Hey, thank you for listening. Consider liking and following. I upload a chapter summary of the New Testament each weekday. Right now, we are working our way through 2 Corinthians.